Well, I've sometimes been accused of babbling, so I don't want to do that. And I really do have to get to my job. So I'm going to make this a concise commentary, but I don't want to feel like you're getting less value. So I'm going to get right to the core real quick. And it's kind of ironic. I just did this thing on Boss Talks. I thought that would count as a full video, but apparently even 2.5 minutes counts as a short. So I will be a little wordy here and there, but no more than I have to be. So what has happened? Well, apparently the great gay marriage between Lindsay and DOA is over. The honeymoon period is gone, and these two are just going to be attacking and fighting one another for a very long time. And the way Lindsay is styling it, basically, she feels that DOA is being toxic and throwing a mob against Mandy, ridiculing her disability. Again, I don't know if Mandy is disabled, so on and so forth. And so she feels that it can't be right. She has to speak out. That's fine, but then she's invoking these other people, Shannon and others, and I'm like, do you really know what you're talking about there? I don't think you do. So it just seems that it's a case of you may have good motivation. However, there's a lot going in the background that I think people are not aware of. So this is one of the dilemmas that I don't think DOA is lying that his main channel is gone, right? That he has 3 strikes and that channel has been destroyed. Now you can resurrect the channel. Even with 3 strikes, there is a process to try to get it back. It's hard, but it can be done. So I don't know what's quite going on. The way I understood it, when you get 3 strikes, you don't just lose the channel, you lose access to YouTube, period. But he has the other 2 channels. Something is not adding up. So either he's hiding the main channel, or it does really have 3 strikes, and he's playing around with the process, not bringing it back totally, but not losing it totally. So there we go. Unless I can see in the back door what he's up to with his channels, I don't know for sure. But I think he's actually telling the truth there with the 3 strikes. That's my opinion. Now, why is this critical? Well, the thing is that there were a lot of lives and streams on these various channels, and DOA goes back and forth on making them private. I will say he's a little bit better than, say, well, Lindsay, who like keeps destroying or privating tons of streams to fit her narrative. I mean, again, I'm not opposing Lindsay. This is not a dead agent package thing. I'm not trying to destroy her reputation. I'm just trying to clarify because some people may not have quote, good memories, or this is slipped through the cracks. So what happened is, and again, I'm going to try to be precise with the dates, but this is very vague. Like, because again, I vaguely remember this because they were just again trying to catch up with DOA streams. Some of them are very long, so they kind of mesh into one another. But take this for what it's worth. Apparently, DOA and Lindsay were supposed to have an interview with a black man. I think this is Jay, but I don't know for sure. And DOA is working with this black activist. I think that's what's the basic setup. So let me just get right to it. Apparently, there is some audio or evidence of this. I don't know if it's audio. I want to be as precise as possible. But DOA has some evidence that Lindsay was caught using the N word. And again, this is something she's not hidden. Not the racism, but her pro-Trumpism, right? So for a while, Lindsay was very extremely anti-woke and pro-Trump. And Mandy's politics are completely opposite. She's very extremely woke, right? She identifies as non-binary. I'm not into that stuff. Like, at the same time, I want to respect people who do whatever they want to do, queer, whatever, the trans stuff. But at the same time, I don't think you're obligated to join them. I think those are 2 different aspects that people get messed up. If you want to identify as a purple kiwi tree, that's your prerogative. But forcing other people to recognize you as a blue kiwi aardvark, queer, whatever, is like, that's your choice. So I think people get those 2 mixed up, but that's me. So I'm pretty strongly libertarian there on both sides. You can choose to do whatever you want to do, but forcing other people to acknowledge that identity is, that's a different story. But anyway, so Lindsay for a while was really anti-woke. So I think there's credibility here. And apparently DOA has the receipt. And Lindsay talked about this for a few seconds, right? She kind of, I don't think she was slipping up either. I think that was very deliberate. She says, oh, yeah, okay, I was racist for a little bit, but, apparently when they were having their phone conversations, like, yeah, well, you say the same thing anyway, you use the same language, so I'm not racist. And then she moved on to other topics in her stream. So, again, I need to know the full context, but again, this is not a dead agent package. quite the opposite. If you want more devastating details, go to True Clear Media. Again, I did an update a while ago, but I destroyed it because someone was, being kind of toxic. And I asked people very calmly and nicely, don't be toxic, but, it is what it is. So I took away the video. I still think I have it somewhere. I'll try to find it, but I don't know if I accidentally destroyed it. But anyway, so it is legit information. And this is real. I mean, Lindsay does have a criminal past. She's been in jail several times. She's had quite a few incidents with the police. I myself think we have to be careful with this information, but it is there. I also find it deeply ironic that a lot of these Trump people are very pro-police and very pro-cop. And once again, Lindsay was defending the police, even though she's had all these incidents. So it's very strange. But I think we have to be careful with that information. But it is true. So she had a recent incident with her family, apparently. I believe it was drunk driving. So on the one hand, Lindsay is trying to do all this virtue signaling, but it's like her record is just what it is. It's very mixed. And I guess she feels that DOA is going to use that against her or hold it over her head to extort her or whatever. I just have to be the bad guy and affirm some of this is true. Some of this is true. Apparently, she did say the N word. It was directed specifically against black people. But I need to know the larger context. And apparently, they were going to speak about this, but then the interview never happened. The way DOA explains it, she just last minute said, I'm not going to participate in this whatever debate interview that they were setting up with this black activist. So there you go. And I'm pretty sure this happened. Again, I'm going from memory here because, again, these streams are lost now. DOA has either privated the stuff or destroyed it. So I'm just going from pure memory, which I think is always dangerous. He was also talking about other things in that stream about how he had some kind of fight with T, like that's Perth. She's over in Australia. She used to be a big pro Miriam person. She's kind of moved on now. I think she's like very pro Nora. But anyway, that's her thing. So they had a bit of a fight back and forth, and he was ranting against her. So, and again, I like the fuller context because that's also kind of weird. And there we go. So I think this is kind of strategic on Lindsay's part, trying to destroy DOA's reputation. So if he does release this information, and we got to be honest, if DOA has something against you, he's going to put it out there. He's going to put it out there. So that's why it seems all very suspicious. But apparently this is real. There's evidence of her racism. I've been back and forth on this. Like, I've supported Lindsay as a victim, but I don't identify with her politics. Her politics, to me, are separate issues. But obviously, the two do overlap. Obviously, if you're the kind of person who is at least somewhat pro-racist and somewhat pro-Trump, that does reflect your character. I mean, there is something there, right? I mean, if I'm going to judge Aaron's racism and his pro-Trumpism, I need to be consistent there. And it's kind of an interesting thing that we end up in the same place. He's had police incidents. And again, for a while, also, Aaron was very pro-cop and pro-police. So it's a lot of overlapping positions. So, and there we are. But I think Lindsay is trying to get away from that scandal and basically, trying to fool people by saying, DOA is such a horrible person. He's such a horrible guy. Right. But those are two different subjects. DOA being horrible and, right, you're racist as well as a mixed record of criminality. Those are two different topics. Even if DOA cannot be trusted, these things apparently did happen. Her committing these crimes and her being a racist. Now, is that reflective of where she is today? That's a different story. I'm just here to clarify. It's not just about exposing DOA. It is about kind of rehabilitating herself in her own eyes and with her own followers, right? That is also there. I just want to be a little bit honest. And good or bad, this information will probably get out there because DOA is not one to keep this kind of devastating information. If he has something against you, he's going to use it. He's going to use it. I'm guessing this is a preview of the next stage of their war together. I'm pretty sure he'll probably leak this information soon enough. But apparently this information is real, and Lindsay thought it was serious enough that they had to have an interview/debate about it, but then she dropped out of the debate. That's my memory of it. I can't say for sure now because, again, these streams seem to be gone. Are they really gone from the channel? I don't know. I don't know for sure. But they may be, because once your channel is destroyed, a lot goes along with it. So it could just be, there it is. That stream is in the old channel, and it's gone. That's my memory of it. And there we are.